The question being asked is if schools should be required to teach evolution, creationism, and intelligent design, and we say that we should, because you kind of like want to know where you came from. Creationism is the belief that there was a divine creator who created life, which is like the religious part of, yes.
Well, there are different kinds of creationism, so how are you able to narrow it down to one creationism and say that's where you came from?
There's other theories I was getting to that. Evolution is the process by which different kinds of living organisms are thought to have developed from earlier forms during the history of the Earth. And everyone knows that like a bunch of people have different beliefs, and everyone should respect that. But we should also respect that everyone should get their chance to learn about the different sides of the creation of life. So there are also some good reasons for learning about it. Like you could get to learn about like another religion, or you could go more in depth into it, like in your science class. Because like example, like for Mr. Gandy when he was teaching it to us, he like didn't really go like in depth to it. So but it could be important to learn about the different theories and how you can be here. So, but it is a theory, so there's like no reason you should care if you learn about it. Like if you're against it, then like it shouldn't matter because it's a theory, so it's like a matter of opinion. So if you don't agree with it, then you can just like ignore it. But we should all still have a chance to learn about it, like, and give the other students a chance to learn about it just because you don't agree with it. Yes.
Okay, so you're saying that they should have a chance to form their own opinion. But if the teacher's teaching it, won't they throw their own opinion in?
Yes, but they'll be teaching both of the different sides, so it wouldn't really matter. Yes.
But what if the teacher doesn't believe that certain thing?
Well, you still have to teach it. It's part of it.
Wouldn't there be moral issues like if a Christian teacher has to teach Satanism to the students? Wouldn't that be kind of, wouldn't they be morally against that?
I mean, but it's part of their job, so they kind of have to do it, so like it really is a choice if you want to take the class or not. So like just because it might be like religious, if you like since you have to learn about both sides, then it shouldn't matter if you're not like part of that religion.
Yeah, but there aren't just two sides. There are hundreds of religions out there, so and they're all opposing each other. So how do you teach that?
Well, it's just a matter of opinion. Like you just form your own opinion about which side they believe. Okay. Yeah. So it really is a choice. So it shouldn't be a hassle if schools teach it because it's all a matter of opinion. So, yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, like for an example, at Cox Mill, they have the two classes that are Introduction to Old Testament and Introduction to New Testament, and I thought that was an example because they're like classes. No, thank you. And no, thank you. They're like Bible classes, but they're not all like religious. They're more social studies. But it's a choice if like the students want to teach it or not, and it's like an opinion. Take the class. You're not forced to. So it's more like an elective. So yeah, so it's a choice if you want to take it and you don't have to. And, yes.
Okay, so you're saying that it's a choice to take it, but we're talking about a science class, which is a have-to-take class. So how can you...
Time.
Yeah, just go ahead and answer the question.
Okay, Kayla, you're up.
No, it was fun, right? No. So, is it, wait, can I start? Okay, sorry. Is it practical, is it legal, and is it adequate for education? Creationism and intelligent design should not be taught in a science class-based setting. Some people may argue that the theory of evolution should also not be taught in a science class. But actually, the theory of evolution has supporting evidence unlike creationism and intelligent design. The theory of evolution could also be argued as just being a theory, but there is also the theory of gravitational force that many people do not dispute. The theory of evolution started with Charles Darwin Charles Darwin's Origin of the Species in 1859, based on his observations in the Galapagos Islands. Evidence supporting evolution includes the study of human genetics, suggesting that we are related to primates and other organisms. Ancient organism remains, fossil layers, similarities in embryos, and similarities in animal bone structures. Ancient organism remains is when scientists or archaeologists dig up bones and see how the organism evolves or relates. Fossil layers involves finding remains in the rocks, which then allows scientists to carbon date and find the age of the fossil. Similarities in embryos is self-explanatory, but it is basically referring to how you can take pictures of the stages of different organism embryos, and all of them are remarkably similar. Lastly, similarities in animal bone structures is basically the same thing as the embryos, except many animal bone structures have similarities also. It is also impractical teaching creationism because it opens the door to having to teach other theories of the universe, and that could take all year. Having creationism and intelligent design taught in science class is being miscategorized, but also religion is very important in this country. Religion shapes morals and character even though it should not be taught in a science class. Creationism and intelligent design is a more appropriate topic for a comparative religion class. It is a teacher's responsibility in a science class to teach knowledge, which includes facts with proof, which creationism and intelligent design does not include. Some people may argue that the Bible is proof, but in fact that is untrue because the Bible is not a credible source. And dating back to when the Bible was first translated, it went Hebrew to Greek to Latin to English with a little bit of Aramaic. And it is proven that the historical background of this book was lost in translation. And there is, in fact, a statement in the Constitution that states there is a separation between state and church, and public schools are funded by the state. Now I ask you again, is it legal, is it practical, and is it adequate for education?